Good morning. My name is Anne-Marie Dumenu, a student of the University of Ghana Business School with the Department of Organization and Human Resource Management. My proposal is the impact of the year of return on Ghanaian small and medium-scale enterprises. Outline of the presentation. We have the research background, the research problem, the research purpose and objectives, the research questions, the proposed methodology, the significance of the study, and then the lessons I learned from writing my research proposal. Research background. The year of return is intended to commemorate the 400th anniversary of the arrival of the African to be enslaved in America. This campaign was initiated to encourage Ghanaians and the diaspora to come specifically to Ghana to invest and then to invest in various opportunities that will be presented to them by Ghana, and also to trace their roots. This Year of Return initiative was launched by the President of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akuffo-Addo, in the last quarter of 2018. So it was supposed to be in 2019. So the Year of Return basically is a tourism activity. And then tourism activities are defined as persons who are traveling to and then staying at places outside their usual environment. And this is not supposed to be more than a consecutive year. And it's usually for leisure, businesses, and then other purposes. And then this assertion was done by Camilleri in 2018. Okay, so there's been so many works done by various people with respect to the definitions of tourism and then their impacts on the economic, socio-cultural, and then the environment. So the initiative of the Year of Return saw an array of celebrities across the globe making their way to Ghana to explore, to learn, appreciate their roots, as well as we unite with the Africans on the continent. And then some of these celebrities are in the person of Steve Harvey, Ludacris, Cardi B, Boris Kujo, just to mention a few. And then according to the Ghana Immigration Service, it was reported that Americans arriving in Ghana increased by 26% to their highest ever rate, which was between the months of January and September in 2019, which we all know that 2019 was declared as the Year of Return. So it was a year-long tourism activities dubbed under the Year of Return. And then it also included visitors from UK with a percentage of 24%, Germany giving us 22%, Liberia giving us 14%, and then finally South Africa giving us 10%. So this was by GIS 2020. And then according to the Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture, Honorable Barbara Otin-Ejesi, the Year of Return generated total estimates of 3.3 billion on tourism receipts. So the Year of Return had positive impact on the economy and then the cash inflows to Ghana. And then an average expenditure per tourist was estimated to be $2,391. And then these expenditures were seen in the areas of accommodation, food and beverages, shopping, local transport, and then entertainment. And then so with the food and beverages, we know it was across the various food joints and restaurants we have in the country. And with shopping, we have various supermarkets, various shopping malls and shopping centers. We have our markets, Makola, Gbobloshi, Medina, and all of those markets that we have in the country. And then with our local transportation, we have our taxis, we have our churches, we have our Uber services, Taxify, Bolt, and then other means of transportation. And with entertainment too, it's got to do with our nightlife, our various clubs, our various lounges, and all of those other entertainment centers that we have in the country. In conclusion to the background, we would say that the year of return gave Ghana an unprecedented influx of foreign tourists to Ghana in the year 2019. And then it is imperative that we examine the impact of this initiative on SMEs in the tourism industries. So these SMEs provided the various tourism services to tourists in the various tourist sites in the country. Okay, so we move to our research problem. Over the years, we've seen various studies that have been conducted in the field of research, in the field of tourism. And then this is because tourism has high impacts on the economy, on the society, and then the environment. And then most of the studies have focused on the perception of residents of tourist sites. And some of these studies were conducted by Al, Waifa, Almeida, Garcia, and Coates 2019. We also have Frimpong and Dechman in 2017. They examined the perceptions of the effect of foreign visitors in Ghana, and then they based their data collections from the various Ghanaian hospitality professionals, which included service providers and then government agencies. So these hospitality service providers were in the form of hotels, restaurants, the arts and crafts industries, the transportation sector, airlines, and then among others. And then with the government agencies, we have the Ghana Tourist Authority, National Commission on Culture, among others. Also, Mensa 2012 asserted that he also explored the perception of residents of Tafia Tome on the impact of tourism development in the community. And then he used questionnaires, and then he administered face-to-face interviews to collect data from about 197 residents. Okay, so Tafia Tome, it's in the Volta region, and it's known to have a monkey sanctuary where the monkeys are said to live with the people in the community. So it's one of the popular tourist sites that we have in Ghana. So this is where Mensa conducted his research. Okay, so there's been other studies as well. And then you also have Bensum and Enin in 2019. They also analyzed the factors influencing the upward trends in international tourist receipts and the impact that it has on the Ghanaian economy. They used interviews techniques for their data collection. Okay, so we have other assertions from Mohammed too. He also assessed whether development around Lake Bosomtwi tourism has negatively affected ecology, using information from interviews with key stakeholders and sources. Okay, so with all of this, we say that all of these several studies conducted in the field of tourism are very, very insightful, and then they provide useful information on the phenomenon of tourism. However, with the nature of the year of return, which was a global sensation where we had people across the globe trooping into Ghana, we would say that we don't have any empirical evidence that shows the impact of the year of return on our tourism industry and the extent of the impact that the year of return had on us. So we have so many other, there's a fact that there was a year of return, but we don't have any evidence. And then we also talked about the fact that the minister asserted that we gained foreign exchange of about 3.3 billion in the tourism industry. We still don't have evidence as to how it's happened. Okay, so we know small and medium scale enterprises played a major role in the year of return because they provided services across the various tourist sites. And then it is with this context that this proposal seeks to examine the impacts of the year of return on Ghana's SMEs in the tourist sector. The purpose of the study. So the year of return comes on the back of the government's efforts to attract foreign investment, provide sustainable jobs for its people, and improve their standards of living. So as we all know, with the influx of people coming into Ghana, there are a lot of opportunities that we have here. So it is with this hope that the government is expecting people to come and invest, and then in so doing, jobs will be provided for the Ghanaian citizens, and then this will in turn translate to better standards of living for Ghanaians. Okay, so government is also expecting some sort of benefits from the year of return, where in order for them to assess whether there has been an accrued benefits for the SMEs in the tourism sector. And then we've also had several researchers who have indicated the need for future studies to investigate the impact of tourism activities of small businesses. Therefore, this study would provide empirical evidence on the impact of year of return on SMEs, and then it will help to inform government considerations for policies that will help SMEs to maximize benefits from various activities such as the year of return and the future. And even after the year of return, after the return was also launched after that. So for such an activity, it means it will be something that we'll be doing as time goes on. Therefore, this research will provide the necessary information to further research on the activities that will follow after the year of return. Our research objectives: to explore the economic, socio-cultural, and environmental impacts of year of return on SMEs in Ghana, to determine which sector of the small and medium-scale enterprises has gained the most from the tourism activities of the year of return, and also to make recommendations for policy consideration. And then we have our research questions. What economic, socio-cultural, and environmental impacts are derived from year of return on small and medium-scale enterprises in Ghana? And also, which sector of the small and medium-scale enterprises has gained the most from the tourism activities of the year of return? Our proposed methodology. So we using the narrative research, and then according to Cressel and Cressel 2018, narrative research yields rich information that leads to important recommendations in practice. So we are also adopting the qualitative approach in collection of information from participants. And because this qualitative approach will be able to describe and interpret human behavior. Okay, so Cressel and Cressel also asserts that it is very important the people who are involved directly in the research, getting information from them is better. Okay, and then we also look at our study population. We are going to concentrate on the owners and then the managers of the various SMEs, which are located at the various tourist sites. And then we also look at sampling procedures, where we look at the purposive sampling. So here, our concentration will be on the owners and the managers, because they are imperative to our research. They are the ones that will give us the information pertaining to the impact that will be made on the SMEs directly, because most of them own these SMEs, and then most of them are managing these SMEs. So therefore, they will have the quality information that we are needed to facilitate this research process. And with our research instruments, we'll be looking at our interview schedule. And then with our interview schedule, we will design open-ended questions, which will be very simple. And then subsequently, we will look at sensitive questions, and then it will be easily understandable. And then after that, our data collection method would be interviewing, where we'll be interviewing the participants face to face, and then we'll have an average of 30 minutes per a session of 30 minutes per participant. So after interviewing all the participants, we have gathered the various texts and then the various field notes and any other documentation. We would transcribe all of these tests, and then after that, any form of recordings will also be transcribed. And when we are done with this, we will label it, and then we'll code the content in order that you'll be able to determine the various differences, the various similarities using the content analysis. So the significance of the study. Okay, so the current study has significance for practice, and it has significance for policy and then future research. Okay, so this study is suggesting that the Ghanaian government should, to a large extent, if possible, play a more active role in managing tourism, because at this point we've experienced a large influx, an unprecedented influx of tourists in our country at a certain time. So we'll be able to see the lapses, the challenges we face, what went wrong, what didn't go wrong, what didn't go right. We'll be able to have, this will inform the government as to where we fall short, and then we'll be able to put in proper measures in place in order to enable the smooth running of tourism in the country. And since tourism contributed majorly to our GDP in 2019, giving us a tune of 3.3 billion, once we prioritize tourism in industry, it's sure it's a means for Ghana to get in more cash inflows. And then also with our policies, this study will help government agencies to develop guidelines which would enable them to train all the various businesses that are located at the various tourist sites. And then with this, it will help to provide effective service to visitors. And once there's effective service, they'll go back to their countries because they are able to relive the experiences that they came to experience in the country. They meet their expectations, then they tend to be satisfied. So when they go back to their various destinations, they in turn do word of mouth to other people, and then people become interested, and in return they do repeat visits back into the country and then visit these sites, and this will help to generate more income for the country. And then we also know that there are no studies in Ghana specifically on the year of return. Therefore, this study, there's one significant aspect of this study is that it will provide the foundation information for such studies in future. Okay, so with my lessons learned from writing the research proposal on the impact of the year of return on SMEs in Ghana, I realized that the research process is interrelated with each step. So this means that from the beginning, where we talk about the research problems, where we talk about the research objectives, where we talk about the methodology, the significance of the study, you need the previous step in order to move on to the information from the previous step in order to move on to the next step. And then I also realized that research requires careful planning and scheduling to be effective. So once you're able to plan probably chapter by chapter, and then how you go about your work, it helps you to be more effective in your delivery, rather than you just not having focus. You just sit behind your PC and just decide to do anything. It's systematic, so you will have to plan your time, and then in order for you to be able to deliver within the specific time frame or deadline. And also I realized that this research was very effective because of my interest my interest and my passion drove me to work harder, my passion for this particular topic. Because we are in trying times where we have this COVID pandemic. We are trying to juggle between work, you're trying to juggle between staying safe and staying home, and then working on assignments such as these. So I realized that it was the fact that I was interested in the topic and interested in seeing it to the end successfully. So this was also another lesson that I learned from writing the research proposal. Okay, so this is the end of the presentation. Thank you.